That was Mike Vrabel. Just a small little snippet, but here's a little theme I'm going to pick up on. We were just talking about Josh McDaniels last hour and his role in Drake Maye's development, and you guys think that Josh McDaniels is overrated or
uninspired.
Strike. Well, okay, you think McDaniels is uninspired. You think the offensive coordinator, Matt, in general, generic offensive coordinator, is overrated. We put too much on the OC and not enough on the quarterback himself.
Precisely. If you've been there and done that the way that McDaniels has in the league, it doesn't really make a difference in the end.
Okay. I think the offensive coordinator in the system is more important than you do, but either way, you know what I think is even more important? Mike Vrabel. I think Mike Vrabel is the one that I would feel the best about or that I would put a lot of stock into. In other words, just for example, in Tom Brady's early development or how he became or his road to becoming who he was, who was more important, Bill Belichick or Charlie Weiss?
Oh, Belichick.
Belichick. It was the head coach that got into Brady, and I'm not overrating Belichick here. I'm not all you Brady people, Murray. No, don't get your back up. Okay?
No, I'm not gonna. No, he was extremely influential early on. I'm not gonna fight you on that.
You were on the right side of history. It was Brady, not Belichick. I'm not doing that thing.
No, but I think you need a hard-ass coach with a young quarterback to get the best out of him. Parcells got the best out of Bledsoe early on.
I was gonna do a bet like Phil Simms, like. How did Phil Simms get to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback and a Pro Bowl quarterback?
Parcells.
Who was the Giants? Was it Ray Perkins? I don't even know who the Giants offensive coordinator was when Phil Simms was drafted.
Jeez, I'm not sure.
Okay, and Parcells, I should know. Wasn't Parcells? He was obviously a defensive guy at one point, I think. But it's like, no, it's that relationship. It's the Parcells, Belichick, Vrabel.
Ron Earhart.
Yep. Ron Earhart was a Giants offensive coordinator. Who was more important for Phil Simms, Ron Earhart or Bill Parcells?
Come on, Parcells.
Okay, who was more important for Tom Brady, Charlie Weiss or Bill Belichick?
Belichick.
Okay, and I'm not saying, again, before you get your back up, that Belichick made Tom Brady or that Brady wouldn't have been great without him or any of that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, do we look back and say, and I think Charlie Weiss was excellent, by the way.
Same.
Excellent. Maybe the best pure play caller they had.
Agreed.
In that whole run.
No doubt.
A tremendous play caller.
Great feel for the game.
Absolutely. Okay. But when we look back, do we say that was Charlie Weiss or the offense? No. We say there was a perfect marriage there at the time with two completely driven, competitive, maniacal, obsessed people who were detail-oriented and were willing to grind out the hard things and do the right things and play a smart, tough way, all that. Like that was, we look back and we say Belichick with Brady. And I look at, I just bring up Parcells because he's no quarterback whisperer, but what did he do with Bledsoe? Exactly. The Patriots offensive coordinator when they drafted Bledsoe in 93 might have been Perkins. Who was it? Not to bark out orders. But do we even remember?
No.
I mean, he went there.
Zampese came
there.
They
rifled through a couple.
It was Ray Perkins.
Ray Perkins.
So Ray Perkins was, we don't look at Ray Perkins.
I'd forgot the name, frankly.
And say that Ray Perkins got to do. No, it was Parcells. And I don't know if Vince Lombardi had a offensive coordinator, but it was Vince Lombardi and Bart Starwin. Their offensive coordinator was probably Lombardi. He was the offensive guy. But
no, you got to treat these guys.
It's the head coach.
And one of the things that's like common with all these guys, or we're just talking about Parcells and Belichick here, is that you have to treat these guys like they're any other player. Just because you play quarterback doesn't mean you're special. And they were great with that with those guys early in their careers.
So this is what I just wanted to pound. And that little clip right there, if you haven't seen it, it's small, it's quick. But Vrabel is getting to Maye about his leadership. And he says something along the lines of, you got to show everybody that you can be a different guy when you have to be, as opposed to what you are the other times. And he's getting into Maye about getting to the team. I can't remember if it was in that clip or not, but there was a time where they show Vrabel sort of stalking the field during practice, and a play ends, and Vrabel, and again, it might have been in that clip, it might not, but Vrabel says to Maye something along the lines of, all right, you've got a minute, get into him, which means, okay, in this minute when they're walking back to the huddle, it's time to get to the receiver and tell him, this is what I saw. What did you see?
Right.
It's time to start leading, start coaching, start getting into your guys. And that's Vrabel into him on that. And that's Vrabel doing that. And I think the long-term future of Drake Maye is much more tied and much more dependent on Mike Vrabel than Josh McDaniels. This is my point. And Vrabel carving out the relationship, the leadership, the mentality, all those sort of bigger picture things, all the intangible things, they're going to come from Vrabel. They're not going to come from McDaniels.
And I would much prefer that.
And I don't know if McDaniels has it in him, by the way.
He probably doesn't.
To be a red ass?
He definitely will, or to do it effectively, which is why he failed as a head coach.
I was going to say, as a leader of men, I don't know.
Great.
Right? He's got a very spotty track record there.
As a caller correctly said, I mean, the end of Vegas there, he was about to have full-on mutiny with half of that team.
I like McDaniels' offense. I like his play calling. I think his quarterback development. I saw a little something with Mac Jones and him. I think he got something out of Cam F. and Newton. Like, he, for a time, got something out of Kyle Orton. So whatever. Like, I'm good with him with quarterbacks. I'm good with his offense. I'm good with his play calling. The leader of men thing, the overall, May has the physical skills, right?
Yeah.
So it's all going to come down to his head, his heart, his balls, his leadership, all that stuff. That's going to come from Mike Vrabel. Just like Sims or Bledsoe, if you want to put him on the list, it came from the head coach. And I think in a lot of cases, it's now the same guy. Where Joe Montana had Walsh, who was both his offensive coordinator's quarterback coach and the mentor guy. But that's where it's going to come from. It's going to come from Mike Vrabel, and you want it to come from Mike Vrabel. The whole thing starts with what would seem to be innocuous, but it's there's a play, and it's I think the very first minute of the thing, where Drake Maye is rolling out in a practice rep here, felt 11 on 11, padded, where Drake Maye's rolling out and he's pump faking, and he just sort of steps out of bounds, and he doesn't run with the ball, and he doesn't even throw the ball. And Vrabel gets right into him and says, "Good job being a passer." He says, "Good job being a passer." And I looked at that and I said, yes, exactly. Because now here's a football thing. Drake Maye's got to be a passer first and a runner second. And when I did go back and watch some of his games at North Carolina, he ran like a demon, and he ran first. And a lot of the stuff last year, he ran first. And I don't like the run first guys. And there's a couple of them who are elite, but they haven't won, and I wonder if it gets in the way. And I'm talking specifically about Josh Allen, and I'm talking about Lamar Jackson. And they run in different ways. But I think both of those guys too often are run first guys.
It becomes too much of a crutch.
You have to be a pass first guy. Pass first. Be a passer. Be a passer and a scrambler. Don't be a runner. Don't be Daniel Jones. Like, that kind of quarterback play scares the crap out of me. I don't think that it's won yet at a high level in the league. I think the devastating running quarterbacks are passers first who scramble. When you got to have it, you scramble. And that's what Drake Maye has to become. I think too often he just sort of took off. And I think, I don't know, if I'm Vrabel, like, I think right out of the chute.
What was he saying again? Great job as a passer.
He said great job being a passer.
Great job being a passer.
Good job being a passer. And the play was very simple. Maye just stretched out a play, patting the ball as he's running to the sidelines and dips out of bounds. And Vrabel said, good job being a passer. Because that's what that is. Be a passer, don't be a runner. The running stuff to me, I've said this for over a year. I'm not impressed by. Like, I don't care about. And when I say
also,
that,
and in Maye's case too, and Vrabel's probably watched the film, he's like, you're a concussion waiting to happen. Like, use it when you need to absolutely use it. Like, I don't expect him to be Patrick Mahomes, but you've mentioned many times, Mike, like, he has that in his bag. He doesn't rely on it. But if it's like 3rd and 8, no one's open, he knows he can do it, and it's lethal that way. Like, that's what Maye has to learn how to do, is just use it when it's absolutely positively necessary.
He's got to be a passer. He's got to be a scrambling quarterback, not a running quarterback. And I think Vrabel agrees. He's almost said it, like, from the second he took the job. In his very first few press conferences, or when I talked to him at the owners' meetings, he talked about getting this guy out of bounds, getting this guy to knowing when to get down, protect the equipment is like something he would say. They've seen it, and I don't think the guys last year they tried to coach it out of him. Remember Van Pelt wouldn't run him on quarterback sneaks,
Yep. Yeah,
or quarterback keepers. Smart, but I think they even got to take it a step further. Pound into him. You're a passer, not a runner. Pass first. Be a passer. And the running thing, it shows me nothing, especially in these preseason games, but even in some regular season situations. To just take off and run at the first provocation is like you're always going to have that for the first 10 years of your career anyway. You're always going to be able to do that. It's always there for you. What we don't know, what you don't know, what is going to win games is the passing game. And so, I think all this stuff is on Vrabel. He's got to get into him as a leader. Drake Maye's got to grow up, and I'm not saying he's some sort of kid or but he's 22. So, as you would say to any 22-year-old, he's got to grow up. He's got to grow up in the right way, with the right mindset, and his whole mentality, it's going to come from Mike Vrabel. And even some of the play style stuff, the running, don't need it. Don't need it yet. You get into November, December, 3rd and 8, a game with playoff implications, hell yeah, 3rd and 8, tuck it and run and get out of bounds. Pick up the first down, break the opponent's back, and then line up again. But to run around just because it's there early or run around like an idiot ain't going to do anything. It's not. And I would say even after you get elite, I think Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are kind of hurt by this. There's too many Buffalo.
Literally and figuratively.
I mean, literally, there's just too many plays in Buffalo where I see 3rd and 5, and they just run Allen around the end like it's a high school quarterback keep play. And he gets it, and he runs 2 guys over. It's like, well, you're not really going to win.
He gets it in November. He doesn't get it in January.
You're not going to win all the way through to February playing that way. You're not. Ultimately, 3rd and 5, 4th and 5, you got to pass for that. And until they learn that, the Josh Allens and Lamar Jacksons of the world, I don't think they're going to win at a high level.
4th and 5, it blew up on them in Buffalo this year. They didn't have the right play for it because their whole play is basically, broken Josh Allen, go. Well,
got to be a passer.
Kansas City had a play for you.
Got to be a passer. So I'm hearing that already. First minute of that documentary, good job being a passer. On a play that he just patted the ball and stepped out of bounds. But all that other stuff, the leadership stuff, hey, you got a minute. Hey, you got a minute. Talk to them. And then they show clips of Maye immediately started talking to his receiver, and then Drake Maye says, yeah, I got to be louder. So, that whole stuff, forget McDaniels. It's Mike Vrabel. That's who we're going to look at and say to Josh, did Drake Maye develop into the guy that you need him to be? Mike Vrabel's on the hook for that, and he should be. And you want him on the hook for that. That's the guy.